Hey everyone, welcome back to the Sports Breakdown once again. So today we are going to do Delhi Capitals SWOT squad analysis and the latest updates of Delhi Capitals. We have a lot to discuss about on Delhi Capitals. Yesterday, I hope you guys watched the Gujarat Titans SWOT squad analysis. So if you have, please do check it out on the Sports Breakdown YouTube channel. So today I'm going to bring along with Preetham from the Fifth Umpire. So do check out his Instagram account, Fifth Umpire on Instagram, and also he has a YouTube channel as well. So do subscribe to that channel as well, and do him on Instagram because he do this all things with India cricket and updates. I think everything on IPL as well. I've been seeing his videos on the possible playing 11 and all as well. He creates shots. So welcome, Preetham, once again. I think first time you're joining my channel, and we've been friends for a long time. And both of us are Delhi Capitals fans, obviously. So hope we can have a good discussion today on Delhi Capitals today.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a pleasure being out here. Thanks, Pavan, for inviting me to be part of the Delhi Capitals hosting as a Delhi Capitals fan for the playing 11, as well as we will have a lot of discussions. Yes, this is the first time I'm joining in your channel as in a live session. I'm very excited to have as many discussions as we have throughout the live sessions on Delhi Capitals, as well as many questions we have from, if any, people are there in the comment section. Definitely, please just sit
Yes.
back and enjoy.
Definitely, yes. So first question, as we know, obviously we know Rishabh Pant is obviously out of the IPL 2023. I know Delhi Capitals fans are obviously sad and not happy with what happened, but obviously we pray for the best for Rishabh Pant, obviously to recover as soon as possible and hopefully to be back in IPL 2024. But Preetham, first of all, your thoughts on David Warner being appointed captain, because there were many thoughts that yes, Akshay Patel was doing well for India, and perhaps because he's an Indian itself, you should give captaincy for a player like Akshay Patel because he was vice captain of Delhi Capitals last season, and all of a sudden you bring David Warner, who is IPL winning captain as well. He's won it with Sunrisers Hyderabad. Now he's the captain of Delhi Capitals. He's been with the franchise also. First of all, when he first joined in back in 2010, he was there for 4 years before going to Sunrisers Hyderabad and then rejoining Delhi Capitals. So how do you see of this move? Because many people are saying David Warner is not in the best of his form right now, especially in 2020 cricket. As we know, yeah, he is still the player as we know, but still he's not in the greatest of forms, even though he had a good season last time. But yeah, your thoughts of David Warner being appointed as DC captain? Do you think that was a smart move by the DC management, or do you think there was any other captaincy options that DC had?
Yeah, so looking into the captaincy picks, it was very predictable that it would be David Warner when Rishabh Pant was completely ruled out of the IPL. But looking, a very big concern. That's especially the Test series versus India, where he was not even getting bat on ball properly, as well as I'm a Sydney Thunder fan too. So in the Big Bash as well, I see him. He played 3 to 4 looking good out there as well. So it was very tense moment for me to see, like, after 3 months he's going to be part of Delhi Capitals, and probably he will be the captain. But as you all know, big players need just one big innings to get back to good form. So I think that we will definitely bag David Warner. He has been that kind of a player for the Sunrisers Hyderabad, and I expect that's what I was thinking about throughout when he was officially announced as the captain and Akshay Patel as the vice captain. That David Warner has to become the David Warner he was in the 2016 was Sunrisers, playing big innings, playing till the 15th, 16th over, scoring 70, 80s. That would also do holding one side, which Kane Williamson's done really well. And then the others can definitely anchor. You have Prithvi Shaw, you have Mitch Marsh. Mitch Marsh was another player I would definitely thought. For once, I would thought that he has been a very successful captain for the Perth Scorchers. He couldn't get the Perth Scorchers this time because of his injury. Ashton Turner was there, but
Yes.
Mitch Marsh was is a very good captain for Perth Scorchers in Big Bash. But you have Ponting there as a coach of Delhi Capitals, and he will definitely favor Warner instead of the experience of Warner, the brains of Warner ahead of Marsh. But Marsh's experience definitely comes into account. There was a very positive note seeing Marsh performing well yesterday, though
Yes.
being an Indian fan. But on the other hand, after Indian winning, I was like, yes, Marsh has scored 80 in a very good Indian condition. Hope he performs well, but India wins the series. But anyways, it was a very good thing. Akshay Patel I've seen last year as well when Rishabh Pant was under some of the field settings as well. So yes, Akshar Patel is another player, very very smart, street smart cricketer. I really rate him as a proper replacement of Ravindra Jadeja. He wasn't used much by Rohit Sharma with the ball in the series. I feel he was less used. However, he's a proper street smart cricketer, especially with the bat. He has improved a lot with the bat, and I think sending a player like Akshar Patel with a more responsibility, if we lose one or two wickets early on, would be to send him at number five, which we earlier we used to try with Lalit Yadav. I think sending him with at number five would be a very good role. You have the responsibility, you're the vice captain, take it to a chin and get a 50 and score big. So I think the captaincy pick, I think it was really good. It was even Stevens. I think. David Warner is fair enough, and vice captain wise, it's good to have Akshay Patel, a local guy, is an Indian boy, and he has a really good experience. And most important, he's an all rounder, so understands the game really well.
Yeah. Also, we need to talk about Rishabh Pant's situation also, because we don't have a wicket keeper right now. I mean, we do have, but technically, it's not a wicket keeper. I mean, Safras Khan, we have the option, but obviously he's injured right now. I hope he's fit by April 1st. I'm not sure about the status of Safras Khan right now. But what do you think? Because we released Case Bharat before the auctions. I mean, ahead of the auctions, and we didn't know the situation will come with Rishabh Pant, that he'll suddenly get injured with a car crash, and we didn't have option of obviously a proper Indian wicket keeper. We only had Phil Salt, who is overseas keeper, but unfortunately, because now Warner is going to lead the team, Phil Salt, I don't know whether he'll have a place, because we have Enric Noikea, Powell, Mitchell Marsh, as you said, all these four are fixed as overseas players for Delhi Capitals. So how do you see it going, Preetham? Especially, do you think is it wise to actually give Safras Khan the keepings? I mean the gloves, because we know that Safras Khan hasn't kept much. I know he's been playing this year. He's been keeping since Rishabh Pant is out. But especially to spinners like Kuldeep Yadav and Akshar Patel, it's extremely difficult to read, and you need to have the practice, obviously, keeping wise to these spinners. So how do you see that move? Do you think you need a replacement for Pant itself? Because there might be options like Abhishek Porel, Sheldon Jackson, I think right now are in the DC camp. There are a few other players also who could be in contention, also in the keeping, I mean the replacement for Pant. So how do you see this doing? You think we need a replacement for Pant, and that player should be in the playing 11? Or do we need to bank on Safras Khan keeping for Delhi Capitals? How do you see that whole scenario going?
Um, Talking about wicket keeping, yes, I definitely Pant, who has been officially ruled out for the season, you definitely need a replacement because we cannot go throughout the season with one Indian keeper. Uh, and talking about his involvement directly in the playing 11 depends on whom we pick. You have said two names, Abhishek Poran and Sheldon Jackson. I would rather pick Sheldon Jackson because he has already been part of the IPL earlier. I believe it's for KKR. He has been part of the IPL earlier as well. So I would have Sheldon Jackson there in the middle order slot, just like I think Punjab Kings has Jitesh
Jitesh
Sharma.
Sharma.
Yeah,
Jitesh
correct.
Sharma.
Yeah, similarly to that player, I feel Sheldon Jackson is. I would have him, but in case it not, if Sarfaraz Khan is fit, then definitely he has to be. He has been in tremendous form in the Ranji Trophy, and that is the reason why I have the trust in him that he can definitely do good glove work as well. I have the faith in Saurav Ganguly has come in. Ricky Ponting, they're very good coaches. He can train him definitely well. He is similar to the fitness of Rishabh Pant, looking into the physical nature of him as well. But in terms of his skills, yes, it's going to be tough keeping wickets versus the likes of Kuldeep Yadav and then Akshar Patel, who bowls really fast, and especially in conditions like Kotla or in Chennai, those kinds of wickets where it's going to be spin, skidding balls, is skidding. So it's going to be very tough. But if you have Phil Salt, there's no other option apart from dropping Mitchell Marsh, in my opinion. Mitchell Marsh has also said he's not going to bowl in the first few games. He's going to start bowling after 3 to 4 matches, I feel.
Yeah.
But I feel, though Ponting is an Australian, but we definitely need to choose between Powell and Marsh. And I think Marsh cannot bat lower than five. But we need the firepower of Rockman Powell, no matter what. He's a make or break type of player, just like Karen Pollard, Andre Russell type. Either he breaks the shackles and scores a 50 or 20 balls. Otherwise, he gets out under five. So I think having Powell will definitely be someone I would definitely have. Powell and Nokia has to be a fix, and you also have the captain, which is Warner. So these three has to be fixed in my opinion, and Marsh has to be there. If I have Marsh, then it has to be Sarfaraz Khan. But if you have to play Phil Salt, then it has to be Phil Salt at number three, and then Mitch Marsh has to be dropped. I don't want. I hope Sarfaraz Khan is back fit. Otherwise, make a replacement as soon as possible.
Yeah, pretty true. They're talking about obviously Rishabh Pant. Obviously, continuing on this topic, obviously Rishabh Pant is obviously going to be a big miss. Obviously, that middle order is not, I mean, balanced, especially not having a left hander. So, do you think Akshay Patel should promote himself to perhaps number five or number six? Because he usually bats at number seven, as we know. But I think he's capable of batting high up, even at situations he could bat at four, five, even seeing how he played in the Test series against India. Also, very impressed with the strike rate that he has. Do you think Akshay Patel right now has, because he's vice captain also, he could promote himself to number five at times? The impact rule could come into play. He could come into play and bat at number five or number six, perhaps, and help Delhi Capitals in certain situations, because we need that right hand, left hand at times in the middle order, especially if Powell struggles at times. You never know, Powell might not have a good day. We don't have that strong, strengthened middle order over there. So, do you think Akshay can promote himself to number five and play the role that Rishabh Pant played for Delhi? Because we saw that in the Test series against India also, how Akshay Patel played the similar role that Pant does for that team.
Absolutely correct. And talking about Akshay Patel, yes, he has the capabilities to promote himself up the order. But as I said, it depends on the situation of the game. If Delhi lose two early wickets, I will definitely send him and anchor the innings and play a responsible innings as he's the vice captain. But looking into the 11 which I have thought of, I don't see we have any other left-hander apart from Warner, all the way down to Akshay Patel. So looking into that kind of a middle order with the absence of Rishabh Pant, which is very key because not only he's the captain, he's a game changer. Also, he's a wicket. He's a left-handed batsman. That's very important, even for Team India as well as for Delhi Capitals as well. So I think in that position, lately, I think it's going to be very important for the likes of Manish Pandey is someone I really bank on, but based on his form as well. If not, then Sarfraz Khan or else Akshay Patel has to promote himself up the order ahead of Robman Powell. That has to be according to the game reading and the situation-based discussion between Saurav Ganguly, Ponting, and David Warner. I think it's going to be based on the game awareness and how the situation pauses. It's going to be more of promoting himself up the order if it's batting first, but when it comes to batting second, it's absolutely going to be batting order according to situation.
Yes. And talking about the auctions, Preetham, this time, how satisfied were you about the auctions that Delhi Capitals had? Because they had obviously five players to buy this time. I think they bought Riley Rossouw, Phil Salt, Aman Khan from a trade, I think. Then they got Mukesh Kumar. So, your thoughts regarding the auctions for Delhi Capitals? Were you satisfied with the picks that they took, especially of the overseas, two overseas? Do you think that Delhi perhaps could have bought overseas finisher like a backup for Roman Powell, because we never know, or even play alongside Roman Powell, because we never know if Roman Powell struggles with form or something. Perhaps we could bring in another overseas finisher. Perhaps there were options in the auctions, but we couldn't get them. So, your thoughts overall of the auctions that Delhi Capitals had this season, and how do you rate it out of 10 also?
Absolutely. If you look into this part of the thing, I see if Riley Russo and Phil Salt are the two players that has been picked. Phil Salt has been picked lately, I think, because of his really good domestic form lately for England as well, international form as well as the domestic form in different kind of domestic leagues. But Riley Russo, yes, he has been very good in the PSL as well for the Multan Sultans. But I don't rate him too high. But if I would have definitely had a choice, I would have dropped Riley Russo and I would have taken and batting all rounder, the firepower, and a player I definitely wanted by any team, and I was really stunned and shocked was not picked was Dasun Chanaka. He was a player I would have definitely wanted any team to have a backup. He's a really firepower. He's a very underrated, hard-hitting batsman. In case Robman Powell doesn't show up, he's also an experienced kind of a player. He I think he's still the captain of Sri Lanka limited overs. So I think Dasun Shanaka, he also bowls. He can give you a slot of 1 or 2 overs. So I think he's a very experienced player. I expected RCB to pick him because Will Jacks ruled himself out. I expected RCB to pick Dasun Shanaka,
Mm.
but they went to Michael Bracewell. So yes, Dasun Shanaka is a good player. I did not like the picks of Riley Russo, and one more was a wastage of a pick was Ishan Sharma's experience. I don't know why was Ishan Sharma picked all of a sudden. We could have definitely had in one more finger spinner, that is a leg spinner or an off spinner of a right hander. I know we have Praveen Dubey, but an experienced one would have been really nice. I'm not sure if Amit Mishra has been picked. I think Amit Mishra has
I
been
think
picked by
he has been
somebody.
picked by Lucknow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Amit Mishra has been picked, I think, but still, we could have had more experience. If not Dashun Shanaka, there was Jimmy Neesham as well. I'm missing out 1 or 2 more hard-hitting batsmen. If it's not Carlos Brathwaite, but there were 1 or 2 more hard-hitting all-rounders who could have definitely been picked instead of Riley Russo.
I think that, yeah, I think the influence of RCB buying Bracewell, I think it's because of Mike Hessen. I think because he
Yeah,
knows
it could be,
Bracewell very
could be.
well. Also, I think that could be the reason
It
why
could
they
be.
went for Bracewell and recently scored 100 also. I think for New Zealand against India also. I think that could be the influence why Bracewell got ahead of Shanaka, and I think other teams are targeting Shanaka, but let's see how
Yeah, because I
things
think
are going
Bracewell
on.
has
Yeah.
been picked as a backup of Wanindu Hasaranga. I think so because Hasaranga is another player who has been definitely going to be a fixed player for RCB. But I'm just thinking, looking into the conditions, if they have one leg spinner and an off spinner playing together. But yeah, if you talk about the picks, I was because we more or less had a settled 11. We were not pushed by the shock of Rishabh Pant at that time. But yes, we expected the likes of um, few overseas players to come into,
Mm.
but I wasn't satisfied with both Salt and Russo coming into the frame because Salt is a player who's going to bat at any position till number 3, and we already do have Mitch Marsh there. So I think if then Salt and Mitch Marsh and Russo, 3 players in the same position is wasted. So I think that's where I think they thought of something, but they couldn't calculate. They could have
Mm.
definitely gone for a bowling all rounder or a batting all rounder. That gives you more depth. Who could have been useful.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, very true. Yes. Talking about Mukesh Kumar, I think he played for Bengal recently. We don't know. I mean, I don't know much about Mukesh Kumar, but you must be knowing because you follow Bengal and you're from Kolkata, and he plays for Bengal as well. So, what do you think? Was the tag too much for Mukesh Kumar? I mean, he was bought for 5.5 crores. No one expected him to go that much in the auctions. But is he that impact player that Delhi Capitals need, especially going for that much? What can we expect from Mukesh Kumar? Especially know his bowling is sort of good, and he got recently recalled to the Indian squad as well for the first time. He didn't play a match, but what can we expect from Mukesh Kumar? Do you see him taking part in like certain matches for Delhi Capitals this season, or do you think this is like for a future prospect for Delhi Capitals?
No, definitely not a future prospect because this time as well, as I was trying to figure out the side, I was like, we have Nokia and Khalil Ahmed, but we are missing a third seamer. We have sold Shardul Thakur, and I'm not too mad about Kamlesh Nagarkoti, but he somehow bats, so that's the reason we have to fill the side. But Mukesh Kumar is a very experienced bowler. He's a proper fast bowler. He's a typical type of Umesh Yadav or a Mohammad Shami type of bowler. He's a really disciplined bowler. But if he has a proper training, a proper plan, a go-to plan, I think he's going to really bowl well. And yes, if you give him the new ball along with Khalil Ahmed, he's going to really prove well because I think the first change is definitely going to be Nokia. I'm not going to give Nokia with the new ball. I'm going to give him 1 over in the power play, and then we'll have him in the later on. So Mukesh Kumar is a really good bowler. He's going to be handy with the new ball. I really fancy him if he's given the opportunity, and he's been brought with a hefty penny. So you're bringing a player of 5 crores, definitely not to bench form, just like we did the likes of Chetan Sakaria. I don't think so. We're going to do the same. But yeah, I think Mukesh Kumar is going to be. We need a right arm pacer along with Nokia, which we had Ravada Nokia combination. Right now we need a right arm pacer. So I would definitely fancy having Mukesh Kumar and Nokia bowling from both ends with some raw pace. Yeah, Mukesh is going to be definitely player, not an impact player because you generally don't want an impact player to be a bowler. You definitely
Okay.
want either all rounder or a batsman to have an impact player. So I think
Yeah.
Mukesh Kumar won't be an impact player if he plays. He's definitely going to be in the playing 11.
Mm. Your thoughts about Aman Khan, because here's the other choice. I mean, risking Shardul Thakur all of a sudden in a season and trading him to KKR. I mean, it's not that great judging a player based on just one season. Obviously, I would have thought basically we could have maybe kept Shardul Thakur for another year and see how Shardul Thakur does. It was his first season. We know maybe first seasons might not go well. The second seasons could go well, but was very surprised that they traded Shardul Thakur and brought in instead of Aman Khan, who I think he does have a good domestic for Mumbai. I don't know much about Aman Khan much. I think he has ability to bat and he's a good all rounder, but not really up to the mark that Shardul Thakur is. So your thoughts about that buy of Aman Khan being traded? I mean, to Delhi, what can we expect from Aman Khan? Because we haven't seen much of him at all in IPL as well. And it was a surprise pick that Delhi Capitals took.
Yeah, that's correct. He's a like you can say he's a bowler, but he's it could be like a backup of Kamlesh Nagarkoti type of player. It was proper like paperwork type of a trading it would, because yes, if you're talking about Shardul Thakur, I'm really pleased that he has gone for 10 crores. He was a different player when he was Chennai Super Kings. Now he's lost pace and everything. I don't fancy Shardul Thakur worth 10 crore anymore. He's a player, he can easily be hit by any good batsman in my opinion. But looking into the replacement Aman Khan, I think he's going to be a bench warmer until unless he really performs well in the nets or the practice matches. But he's a decent bowler. I've seen him bowling in some videos as well. But to be in the straight into the playing 11, I don't fancy him much straight directly into the playing 11. But yeah, I think once he's good enough to make the playing 11, he will definitely get a chance by either Ponting or uh, Ganguly. They are really experienced. They read the game well. But I think if he gets an opportunity, he will definitely show it.
Yes. Also, I think recently, I think you brought about Noik as well, but we're not sure about his fitness concerns right now. I think right now he's injured, I think, and he didn't play the second test against West Indies. I hope he's fit by April 1st. Another big concern over here, if Noika is not fit for IPL, I don't know. He could be out of IPL 2023 as well. So, in that case, if it happens, can we rely on Lungi Ningidi, who's there right now as option, Mustafizur Rahman? Is there as option? Do you think we can rely on these two, or do you think we'll have to perhaps find a replacement for Noike as well, and perhaps get a play? Because we know Henrik Noike is a very impactful player. That's why he was retained ahead of Rabada also back in IPL 2020. Right now they have said he's rumored to be out. I'm not sure whether he'll be fit or not. Right now he's on the sidelines right now. So how do you see this happening, especially Noike? It's always with him and his injuries.
Yeah, correct. But I think Nokia, it was probably a precaution or of something of an injury. I'm not too concerned that I don't think he's going to be ruled out. However, yeah, South African players won't be available for the first match of the franchisees. But I think he should be good enough to come back by the second or max to max by the third game. I don't think it's too serious, but still, but fingers crossed it's not. But in case he is ruled out, then yes, we cannot rely on Lungi Ngidi and his pace and experience. We definitely do need a next replacement. I don't know how many good fast bowlers are there. We definitely need to look, but yeah, if required for replacement, yes, definitely replacement for Nokia, replacement for Rishabh Pant, immediate effect.
What do you think about Mustafizur Rahman? I mean, he played last time, I think, about maybe 4 or 5 matches. I think Khalil and Mustafizur were also bowling in the death. I think Mustafizur was very good in the death overs last time. I know for one match, I think against RCB, he got smashed. But I mean, overall wise, consistency was kind of okay last season. What do you think about Mustafizur Rahman? I think Bangladesh. I think when I check Twitter, also, I'm not sure whether Bangladesh will give the NOC to Mustafizur and Shakib this time. I'm not sure about that. But thoughts, if Mustafizur comes into the Delhi Capital squad, do you think he has a chance of playing certain matches for Delhi according to the pitch conditions? If it's a seamless track, do you think
Absolutely.
Mustafizur can play in the playing 11?
Absolutely, he definitely can play in the playing 11. That's when you need to figure out your combination, because on tracks, slow tracks, when Delhi or in Chennai, or sometimes when the season gets old, longer and longer in conditions like Kolkata as well, the wickets will get will start getting slower, and that's when your cutters and everything comes into. Mustafizun is really known for his death overs. He's a death king with Yorkers and everything. He has been very inconsistent lately. What he was earlier 3 4 years back, I think that was something different. But he has been very inconsistent lately. But I think if he gets consistent with his Yorkers again, he will be a player to watch out for in the Delhi Capitals. In the absence of some of the big guns, he definitely needs to be a player to watch out for. But I would play one lefty, not two lefties, left-hand pacers. If you back Khalil Ahmed, back Khalil Ahmed. If you back Chetan Sakaria, back Chetan Sakaria. Or if you back Fizz, then you have to drop either Nokia or somebody from the top order, which I don't fancy. So I think I would rather have either Khalil Ahmed or uh, Chetan Sakaria bowling
So you really
as a
don't see like two left arm pacers bowling this time like what we did last time, because we had
no,
some Mustafizur and Khalil bowling
Khalil
last
Ahmed.
season, the
Correct.
majority of last season. So you see a right arm pacer like Mukesh Kumar entering the playing 11 this time around.
Correct. Yeah, I see two right-handers and one left-arm pacer. I don't see two left-arm pacers bowling in tandem.
Hmm. Very true. Yes. Okay, we'll talk about the pitch conditions. Obviously, now at Feroz Kotla, obviously at the Arun Jaitley Stadium, we know mainly. I think the spinners come into play a lot. Especially Kuldeep and Akshay Patel might come into play a lot this time. Obviously, we know the pitches at Delhi do help a lot, assist a lot for the spinners. How do you see this time? How do you see Kuldeep and Akshay and even Lalit Yadav also? Those three are the main three spinners that we rely. If Lalit plays in the playing 11, how do you see these three spinners playing well this time in Delhi, especially Kuldeep? Because last time he picked up the highest wickets for Delhi Capitals with 21 wickets. This time also, can we see a similar contribution from all these three spinners, especially Kuldeep at Delhi?
Absolutely. The Kotla is meant for having spin, a lot of spin. We saw that in the second test, if I'm not wrong, and India as well got wrapped up in 3 days. Definitely, it will have a lot of spin. It's a small ground, you can score runs as well, but it's a very difficult ground to score runs very easily until unless you get settled. So, yeah, the 8 overs of spin or probably 10 or 11 overs of spin will be very handy. And players like Nokia, Khalil Ahmed, you have to get try having variations as well. So yeah, Kotla will be a place where home grounds has home advantage. So players need to get used to their conditions, and that's where I think players like Mitch Marsh and Robman Powell need to get used to the conditions because they're not familiar to having playing in spin tracks,
Yes.
and that's where I think because they are used to having a flat track scoring runs here and there.
Hmm.
So especially Mitch Marsh, I think he needs to get used to those flat tracks and yeah, spin tracks. I'm so sorry, and I think if our batters score 170, 180, then there's nothing wrong. I have the trust in our bowlers to defend, especially the spin duo. They can definitely change the game anytime.
Yeah, I think last season also, I think it was the batting obviously that let us down, especially when it comes to the chasers as well. I think quick wickets lost in the middle order, and then all of a sudden we relied a lot on the top order, obviously with David Warner and Prithvi Shaw. How do you see this time, especially with the Warner and Prithvi Shaw obviously opening? Shaw didn't contribute much last season. Obviously, he had COVID, he had injury, and all that stuff. Do you think this is a breakthrough season for Prithvi Shaw this time around? Do you see because obviously, he's playing well in domestic cricket in all three, but you never know with Prithvi Shaw when it comes to IPL.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, Prithvi Shaw has been he's a proper 2.0 of Virendra Sehwag. He's a terrific player and a perfect opener in T20 conditions who can break the shackles early on in the innings. He's That's the reason why I really like this Shaw Warner combination because Shaw will go all guns blazing and Warner, if required, can settle down and get a big innings. Because you need to accelerate in the power play and get as much runs as you want in the 6 overs. I think 50 plus 55 is an ideal partnership in the opening. We were not good enough in the last season when it comes to opening partnerships, but yeah, we need to definitely bank on Prithvi Shaw. Every single player needs to take responsibility because they need to understand they do not have the heavyweight of Rishabh Pant. So especially we're going to heavily once again reliant on our top three, and we need to
Yes.
look into who gets in top four. Number four, is it going to be Manish Pandey? Is it going to be Lalit Yadav? Or is it going to be Sarfaraz Khan? It's going to be very crucial to see who gets the number four, number five slot. along with the wicket keeper. I hope it's Sarfraz Khan, nobody else. But
Yeah.
it's going to be very important to see what combination Ponting has. I would expect having six bowlers and sixth being Lalit Yadav. So let's
Hmm.
see what they do. But yeah, our openers are one of the destructive in the season
Very
among all the 10 teams. And I really, really bank them, especially in conditions like Gujarat Stadium, which is Modi and flourish. But in your home conditions, where it's very slow, in Chennai, very slow, that's where you need your experience in class and to perform well. And that's where they will be tested most.
Very true. Let's talk about the schedule, Preetham, because we have Lucknow Super Giants as our first match. On the first, we have Gujarat, Rajasthan. I think we have two home games in our first five matches. I think we play. I think we play Gujarat twice. I think we are in the group phase, so we play Gujarat twice. I think Lucknow we do play twice as well. We play. I think
Punjab
PBK
twice,
twice. Yeah,
Chennai twice,
Punjab
and
twice,
RCB twice.
SRH twice. So how do you see with the fixtures that Delhi have, especially the first match against Lucknow in Lucknow? How do you see that happening, Preetham? Because not an easy crack, obviously, in Lucknow. I think for the first time, I think in IPL that the Lucknow pitchers have been used also. Even though they play for India, the Indian players might be knowing, but the overseas players could struggle in Lucknow. So how do you see that first match against LSG? They have a very strong side as well, playing 11 in Lucknow as well. How do you see it? Because it's not a easy first fixture for Delhi Capitals this time.
That's the beauty of IPL. Not a single team is weak. Everybody has a weakness. Everybody has a strength, and definitely home advantage will definitely come into account. Lucknow pitch did not perform well the last game. They've had an international track, so I hope the pitch is good. However, Lucknow team is really good. They have a really balanced side, and not to forget, Gautam Gambhir is their coach, so he has a brilliant brain. To be very honest, so it's going to be very, very important for both the teams, and the proper tactics will be there, mind games will be there. So I think it's going to be tough because in the first three games, if I'm not wrong, we have Lucknow and Mumbai. So
Mhm.
it's going to be very tough because Mumbai is also an away game. So that's where I think Mumbai one will. I'm pretty confident because Mumbai team has been broken into shackles for the loss of Jasprit Bumrah,
Bumrah and yeah.
and but still, I would fancy our Delhi to perform well in the first game, but I'm not confident of a victory because we have a very disbalanced side, some injured, some out of form. So I'm not confident yet. I would first have a look into the season and the first couple of games, and then I'll have my say on how confident I am on Delhi reaching the top four.
Hmm, very true. Yeah. Talking about the strengths and weaknesses, Preetham, of this squad this time around. Let's first talk about the strengths. Where do you see is our strength point right now? I think we discussed a few, but any more additions to the strengths that Delhi Capitals have, and perhaps the weaknesses also you said a bit. But in addition, what how do you see the strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah, the strengths definitely has to be for Delhi is the top three. It has to be Shaw, Warner, and Mitch Marsh. They are very destructive, very attacking. They have a strike rate above 150. I think they definitely have to be the strengths. And in terms of another strength, I think the combination of Kuldeep Yadav and Enric Nokia, they're really big wicket takers, game changers in my opinion with the ball. So anytime wicket required, they can be relied on the captain throwing them the ball and like get me a wicket. They can come in for 1 over and they can get you a wicket. And the weakness is no doubt apart from anybody else, apart from the absence of Rishabh Pant, and also as I said is the lack of a left-hander in the middle order. So Rishabh Pant was absolutely an all-rounder, wicket keeper, a destructive batsman, and left-handed batsman. So I think all three will be missing in forms of Rishabh Pant. So I think that's a weakness. The weakness is the no, we do not have a proper replacement of Rishabh Pant in the team.
Hmm. Very true. Yeah. Talk about the opportunities for Delhi. You said obviously you have to analyze a bit to see how Delhi Capitals have a chance this time. Do you see them going to the playoffs? I know we just missed last season, obviously finishing fifth, but we know this time around we are troubled with injuries. David Warner is the new captain. But still, do you see Delhi Capitals having a chance, even though we're having so many troubles right now with injuries and obviously Pant being missing from the team? What do you see the opportunities? Do you think this time we can get through to the top four, seeing other teams, obviously in the fixtures, do you see Delhi Capitals having a chance this time around if they don't make big mistakes as they did last season, or do you see them finishing in the mid-table like last season?
To be very honest, on paper, I don't see them making the top four because there are really, really good teams. But as we have seen earlier as well, teams on paper really don't perform well in the 22 yards. So, but
Yes.
I really fancy, I really fancy David Warner as a captain. He's really good. So I really have the trust in him. I hope he performs well. But in behalf of that, I think I'm not confident enough of us making the top four. To be very honest.
Hmm. Yeah. And then talking about, also about the impact rule, how will that come into play for Delhi? And you think a batsman or all rounder will obviously come into play for the impact rule if needed, right?
Absolutely. I think wasting on a bowler until unless you're defending a total and you have scored 130, 140, you need an extra bowler. That's different. But I don't think so. I don't think so. You're going to look into for a bowler until it's urgently required. I would rather have an all-rounder or a extra batter because you need to replace. If you're replacing an overseas batter, you have to replace with an overseas batter too. So an overseas player has to be replaced with an overseas player. So I think impact player much like it was used in BBL. However, yes, if it's used, it's going to be definitely an all-rounder or a batsman, in my opinion.
Hmm. All right, so Preetham, let's come into your playing 11. So that is the final segment over here. So I think Preetham has said he's possible playing 11. So we have Warner, Shaw as the opening pair, obviously, and then Mittelmarsh at 3, Safras Khan at 4, Lalit Yadav, Manish Pandey or Ripal Patel as 5. Do you think the number 5, it depends on the situation for Delhi, or do you see that coming, the number 5 position being that impact play rule being played at times for Delhi? So who do you
Correct.
think is that perfect number 5? Do you see Manish Pandey being the guy most responsible? Because I think the number 5 is where I think Delhi are a bit weak. Perhaps even Roman Powell could promote himself at number 5 if the situation is needed. So how do you see that number 5, number 6 going?
I think firstly Sarfaraz could be slotted to number 5, and we can have Manish Pandey at 4 if required. But in Delhi conditions, I would definitely have Lalit Yadav because he brings in the 4 overs of off spin. If not four, at least how many overs he can definitely bring in. So I would have Lalit Yadav as he has been part of Delhi Capitals earlier as well, and he has scored runs too, as well as picked up wickets. He's a good fielder as well. With the experience, I would have Lalit Yadav as of now, but it will change definitely to conditions. And among these three, you can definitely have the likes of Ripal Patel could be an impact player, no doubt. He's a very good hard hitter. I don't know how much he has changed from throwing away his wickets, but if he is a really good, he has improved on his game. He can definitely be a very good impact player. He can bowl some medium pace as well.
Hmm. So we have Roman Powell, Akshat Patel, Kamlesh Nagakoti, Kuldeep Yadav, Andrik Noik, and Khalil Ahmed here. Talk about Kamlesh Nagakoti. We know after one match last season, the first match itself, I think he got smashed 40 or 45 runs in the first match itself and was never to be seen again. Do you see Nagakoti playing a role this season? Especially as you said, Mukesh Kumar also could enter into this playing 11 and perhaps be given a chance. But do we give another chance for Kamlesh Nagakoti, or how do you see it going?
I think Kamlesh Nagakoti is another player I don't fancy. I don't fancy much to be honest, but I had to fill in because Shardul Thakur is not there. But right now, I would feel that Mukesh Kumar is another player I would fancy. But in Indian conditions, in conditions which is slow, I would rather have Kamlesh Nagakoti because he can bat as well. He can change his pace as well. But he's going to be a player who will be rotated, in my opinion, in the team.
Hmm.
He's not going to be a fixed play. He can be rotated with Mukesh Kumar someday. We can play an extra batter, the likes of Ripal Patel. If Ripal Patel and Lalit Yadav can give you two overs, then we can have an extra batter. So anything can happen. But I
Hmm.
think Kamlesh Nagakoti, as of now, is in my 11, but may not be in the going forward.
Hmm. Do we see any chances for the recent under 19 stars this time? It's the second season for Yash
Yes,
Dul
good.
and even Vicky Ostwal in the squad this time. Do we see them playing a few matches at least towards the back end if DC are not probably in the playoffs? So if they have perhaps in the mid table, do you see them, those two, getting a chance at least for a few matches this time around, or do you see them being the bench warmers this time as well?
No, I think if we are into a stage where we are out of the competition, yes, they should definitely get an opportunity. But I think Vicky Ortsmart is too early to be said. But Yastul is a good batsman if required, unless I don't think so, because we have very minimal options to try with, especially in the top three. Yastul is an top order batsman. So if you go with experience, yes, Manish Pandey, Lalit Yadav is ahead of Yastul. But I don't think so. The under 19 players are yet to be. They are definitely they can be playing in other franchises, but in the Delhi team as of now, we do not have a place to slot them in.
Yes. Preetham, last question to you. Who do you think is the one player that will impact Delhi Capitals this season? Who do you think is that player that could perhaps make Delhi Capitals the team that they are this season? Any player or players in particular that could obviously shine
That
for
could be
Delhi?
many players. Yeah, I understand. Looking into the conditions, many players are there, but if you ask me to pick one, it's very difficult. But I would still go with the vice captain, Akshay
Akshar
Patel.
Patel. Hmm. Piyush over here says, so according to you, will Riley Rosuo or Phil Salt who will get more opportunity this time? And please tell me the playing 11. I think Preetham already did that, but according to you, will Riley Rosuo or Phil Salt get more opportunity this time? How do you see
I
that?
think if Sarfaraz is fit and to replace Mitch Marsh, it could be Riley Russo, not Phil Saul. If you have a left-hander, Riley Russo is a left-hander. But I don't fancy Phil Saul until unless it's required. Have a injury to any of the wicket keepers. But Riley Russo can get an opportunity if there is a lack of form between uh, Robman Powell or Mitchell Marsh. But I don't fancy Phil Saul getting an opportunity in Indian
Don't you see
conditions.
him batting at number three even, or even in the middle order? Because I think Phil Salt is capable of batting in the middle as well if required. But
Correct.
I think top order right now, because of Warner, he won't get a chance this time around. But any thoughts? Maybe they could test Phil Salt if needed.
Yeah, they can test, but I don't think so. See, Indian conditions is a different condition altogether to the other teams. He will get
Yes.
trapped with against spin. Phil Salt, he can try, but he will get trapped versus spinners. So I don't think so. It's a good idea to have Phil Salt in number four and number five. It's best to have Mitchell Marsh in number three and have the Indian experienced ones and have Robman Powell throwing his banks bats around in the last 5 to 6 overs.
All right, then let's conclude it over here, then, Preetham. So, thank you so much once again for joining. And we discussed everything possible of Delhi Capitals. So, hope you guys enjoy this live. So, please do subscribe the Sports Breakdown. Please do check out the Fifth Umpire as well and subscribe to their channel as well. And do follow them on Instagram. So, hopefully, Delhi Capitals will have a good season. And I hope. Rishabh Pant also will contribute in some way in the bench this time, and along with Ricky Ponting, Saurabh Ganguly also comes in as a director of cricket. So let's see, let's hope for the best for Delhi Capitals this time. Not a proper season that we are looking forward to. Obviously, it's a bit shaky, obviously, without Rishabh Pant, who was our captain, but let's obviously trust on David Vaughan and Akshay Patel, and let's see, and the rest of the teammates, and let's see how things go with Delhi Capitals this time. I hope it's not chaotic like last season with COVID and injuries and several issues going on, especially with COVID. I think Delhi Capitals were affected the most, I think, with COVID and injury concerns, and that really derailed the team. I think that's where we couldn't get to the playoffs, mainly because several players missed several matches last season. So I hope this season at least nothing happens to the Delhi Capitals team. Fingers crossed. So thank you so much to Preetham once again for joining. We'll be back tomorrow. Let's see if to do two more IPL teams or even one IPL team. So let's see how that goes. So today we'll conclude on the Delhi Capitals SWOT squad analysis. So yeah, guys. So we'll conclude it over there. And yes, see you in the next video, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And good evening, guys. Yes. Goodbye, guys.